Hello, 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 hello. It's been a hot minute, man. Hold on, let me fix this. Let me just double check. Look at the comment section real quick. Hold on. Man, hold on. Hello, 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 hello. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. I know it's been a hot minute since people seen me live. Let me fix my camera. I hate when my camera's a little crooked. All right. Let's make me better. Yes, it's been a minute, man. Yes, it's been a minute. We have Tronco out there, man. Good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Yes, I've been working. As you guys have seen, I've been for you guys that don't know the story, a couple of months ago, let me just move this away a bit. A couple of months ago, a hater reported my YouTube, and my YouTube was knocked down. But as you can see, where I left where I left off at was at 18,000 subscribers. So as you can see now, I'm at possibly 8,000 subscribers now. That comes from a lot of hard work and dedication. So I've been very busy. So that's why you haven't been seeing me on the lives. You've been seeing a lot of my content, videos, shorts. I've been on a TikTok thing as well. So that's where I've been. So let's get this thing started. We're back to original Q&As. I'm here for your questions, and I will give you your answers. One second. Let me check this thing out here. Okay, so I get a first question so far. Let's talk about honey jar and longevity. Nah, Brujo, no, we're not giving brutal any time of day on this live. So, yeah, we're not giving brutal any time of day. So we have a super chat real quick. Let me answer this question here. Honey jars, longevity. Longevity of a honey jar. I say a honey jar can go about, I would go with about a year or two. It's in year to 2 years. Then it needs to be heated up again. Excuse me. This is kind of new. So I got to basically huff and puff, All honey jars are not the same, and they're not made equally. One thing I realize is that people, they're used to, the typical honey jars they see in the US. And that's not how ours work. It all depends on who makes it. Mine, I refer to it as the demonic honey jar because it's very aggressive. Rarely do you ever hear anybody saying, this honey jar caused my ex or my lover to get into an accident. Rarely do you ever hear that with people doing honey jars in America. That's strictly like a Caribbean thing. we put aggressive spirits in the work that we do. So as far as a honey jar is concerned, basically it can make people like my honey jar, demonic honey jar. It makes people obsessed. It has a little bit of intranquil in there. Then it also has a bit of, let's just say, obsession in there. It has a binding in there. So you can say it's universal, but the only thing, the downside about it is that the power fades after a year or probably two whatsoever. I've seen people have the jar for a long time, even after a year. Basically, let me just tell you one thing. When the jar starts to crud up, the honey starts to crud up, that's when you think I recommend that you change it, I'm doing fine, Coco Foster. I've been having dreams about some law. Does this mean anything? But as far as the question, I'm going to get back to that question, but let's talk about the honey jar and its longevity. I already answered that, gave my response for that. But yes, it's good for attraction, bringing back past love that have drifted off, wandered off. And not only that, it's good for keeping your target in check. And if you're in communication with them, it's even better, because that way you can actually see the change that occurs with that person. Is it okay to create several love spells on the same person, or not a good idea? I mean, listen, you can do as much as you want, but you've got to have the environment to support that. If you don't have the environment to support that, everything comes collapsing down on you. Everything can backfire on you. So that's why, you got to be careful with doing all this work on one person. You got to have the environment to sustain all of that. Mm-hmm. Why do you say I'm not even going to entertain that? That's probably a troll coming from coming from my live, from my shorts. Mm. Okay, what is it? Do you know I met Kafou true identity? If you're talking historic, no. If you're talking metaphysical, yes. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. When working with ancestors, is it easier to work with them if they were your parents? Are they more inclined to help out because of the past connection? Let's just put like this. Let's take the personifications away from energy. See, the thing about me is, okay, you can address it from a human point of view, but ultimately you want to address this thing without the personifications, the humanism, because you're trying to apply human understanding to something that is beyond that. So when you say your past experiences with that person may make them more inclined, see, think about it. When you get into the practice and you're doing it, you're going to realize it's not what you expect. You watch a lot of TV and you think that your person's actually talking with the spirit. Like, no. See, if anything, you're dealing with something that's more mental than anything. And in your experience with the dead, it's different from what you see on TV. So if you got the right rituals, you know everything that they like, the colors that they're associated with, and you interact with them, then that's going to further your connection. But just like with all spirits, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, the ritual's not done right, then spirits will begin to attack you. Mm-hmm. Cadê Jacques nous connaît besoin entrer. Mm-hmm. This is definitely not good for lives. Yeah, this is not good for lives, man. This is for meditation. It's a child abuser in my family, and she secretly used to abuse her own child and mine. I need advice because the fool got a plea deal. What? I mean, your advice, you got to take care of that. Stand on business. At least somebody need to take care of that. Hey, thank you. Tronco, thank you. The nice setup. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know who that is. Will Minona? I don't know who that is. So now we got to put this to the side because that shit ain't hitting. I got to do that. See, one thing I'm going to say about pipes, they're not good for lives because you got to, that's for like meditation, contemplation, and that's not good for lives, man, because you really got to be on your shit. A cigar is better for lives, man. You got to really be on your shit with your pipes, man, and that shit ain't working, man. For lives, I mean, short form videos, fine, or content, fine, but not on a live. Hit my cigar, man. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to get back to y'all guys. 1 second. Can you do a love binding on one person without binding yourself to them? There's ways you could do that. Yes, you can. I do that at times for clients, but I give them another solution. Yes, that is possible. Yes, that is possible. Thank you, Selena. Thank you. Can you give me Can you give me an example of a backfire to putting several spells on an individual so that I may better understand? Thank you, sir. Love the content. Okay, what do I mean by this? You put a binding spell on this person, then you put an obsession spell on this person. Now, again, like I said, your environment is very crucial and important in this phase. Now, if you don't have the environment for it and you try to do all this work inside your house, shit may turn around and backfire on you. What do I mean by this? So you got a binding spirit, right? A spirit that's going to basically carry out a binding situation for you. You don't do it right. Now you find yourself, you're getting into an accident. Yes, a spirit that caused a binding can actually do that. Because if you look at some of the old cases that I've done, some guys that went and cheat on the client, you'd see that those guys get into accidents or they get into other type of situations whatsoever, right? So now you got to work in the wrong place. Now you get into an accident, right? So now another phase comes in. You got enough spirit that's supposed to be causing an obsession with this person. Now you find yourself being obsessed with that person. Now you feel like, you can't live with that person without that person. So everything that you intended for that person to happen to that person, now you start seeing it happening to you. That's what I mean by that. Everything you intend for your target, you're going to see that all those things begin to happen to you. Can I work with Saint Expedite and still deal with Haitian Voodoo? Of course. Haitian Voodoo is about syncretism. We work with Saint Expedite. You know what I'm saying? We work with that spirit in Haiti. So that's not, that we have. Let me say something. Have you ever heard of expedition? In Haitian Creole, we have this thing called expedition, which is expedition. It comes from expedite. But when we do it, we're not talking about expediting something fast. We usually, we use it. I mean, for me, the way I've known it, people say it could be used for good. Expedition can be used for good. But when we say expedition, usually that's going to take care of some dirty work. It's about basically take care of some shit, But yes, we use Saint Expedite in Haitian Voodoo as well, What do I know about the metaphysical? I mean, listen, there's so many things I can say about the metaphysical understanding of Kafu. First and foremost, right? If you go back a couple of years ago, people used to have this word Kafou, right? Kafou, and I don't know if it's because I broke it down, but basically you had people pronouncing Kafou as Kafou, Kalfou, and I corrected that. I said it's Kafu, Kafu. It means intersection. Okay, am I doing it right on the camera? Intersection. That's what it means, right? So we have the cross. They say, see, what was it? What was the old saying? Si quoi pa bay cimetière pa prend? Something of that nature. If the cross doesn't give, the cemetery doesn't receive, right? We always find a connection between Kafou and a cross, right? Now, the whole metaphysical breakdown, some people use Jesus carrying the cross on his shoulder as a symbol for Kafu, right? But what does that represent? Metaphysically, the man on the cross. You know what I'm saying? The man on the cross is the man that is, let's just say, if you're into crime, you're into bad stuff, right? The man on the cross is the person that's supposed to bear your sins. So if you commit a crime and now you're doing court magic with Kafou, right? You may find somebody else gets convicted for the crime that you've done. See, in one phase, we can look at the man on the cross, Jesus, as Kafou. He's being punished. He is basically being sacrificed on the cross. The cross represents death, is the end. So when you hear the story of Jesus, you can pretty much get an understanding of Kafu, how Kafu is broken down. See, this is deeper than what you guys think. You know what I'm saying? It's deeper than just, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you start delving into the magie of Kafu, you see that guy is a sharpshooter. That guy is good at magie. He's good at bringing, the end to situations. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, moving from that, Kafu is one of those spirits you need in order for your black magic to work effectively. And if you're crossing the dark side, you need Kafu in order for things to move effectively. If you don't have Kafu, those things won't move accordingly. It's like you got Legba, right? Legba is more of he opens the way for the positive to work, right? The positive magie to work, or the good deeds on earth. But now, if you don't have Kaf or you don't have Legba, some things won't transpire. Well, let me just keep it in the world of magie. But even stepping outside of that, there is a metaphysical principle in the universe that is in charge for allowing good things to transpire. And when you're not in good standing with that force, you see that things are basically closed. There are metaphysical gatekeepers, right? So Kafu, on the other end, he's on a dark side. He's a gatekeeper to the dark side. So if you're going to do baneful magie, or you're going to do things that would not be considered good, Kafu is a guy that allows those things to pass. When you can basically look at the dualism of reality and understand that this dualism exists to make the universe what it is, then you can see without being biased that everything happens as it's supposed to. There's got to be good in order for evil to exist, and there's got to be evil for good to exist. All we can do is stay out the way. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Your own ancestors will attack you if you don't know what you're doing. I mean, see, the thing about it, a lot of you guys over here are kind of new to this, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is well known throughout traditions, you know what I'm saying? Like, throughout different customs, throughout the world. When you're doing ancestral work, you got to know what you're doing, because if you don't know what you're doing, they will come back to correct the problem. You know, they will come back to correct the problem. If, let's just say, you don't feed them, whatever, or you do things wrong, you know what I'm saying, ceremonies wrong for them, they definitely will retaliate, man. Have I ever considered opening a class, writing a book? Writing a book, yes. Classes, no. You know what I'm saying? Actually, my girlfriend actually does that. She does classes on her channel whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? But for me, no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Now I don't do the classes, man. That's something that my girlfriend does. You know what I'm saying? I don't. For me, no. Books, yes. I definitely thought about books. Books is definitely something that I wanted to do eventually. But of course, we had setbacks because somebody wanted to be an a-hole and report my last channel. So now we're making everything up and we're coming back stronger, more powerful than before. But that was definitely in, the works last time. But I basically felt like, you know what, let me come back, fix this thing up. Then I can start focusing on books and things that are important like that. Let me see what we got here. Okay, we reached 8,000. Yeah, we at 8,000 subscribers now. Woo! Listen, we at 8,000 subscribers now. But listen, the haters thought that I was done. They thought that I was finished whatsoever. We at 8,000 subscribers now. Wow. And I did that, in 8 months? 8,000 subscribers? Yeah, so we got to pick up. We got to pick up, man. We got to destroy competition. 8,000 subscribers, man. Yeah, so listen. Yeah, we have 8,000 subscribers, man. Hold on. Yeah, I see the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. I'm about to answer the question. Let me look at something real quick. Yeah. Okay, yeah. We back, man. We back. Yeah. We coming back, man. 8,000. Yeah, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. Okay, we got super chat. Ooh, pipe look nice though. Okay. Okay. Can you talk about making a pact with Medusa? Well, I would say this. as far as I can speak with Medusa, I can't speak on a pack level, but what I can speak on is her power that you can harness through rings. You know, see, there's different connections whatsoever, but I can only speak on what I've done so far. As far as ring goes, I would say you get the convincing power if you're a male. If you're a male, you get the convincing power whatsoever. And not only that, you will get protection when traveling. You know, so therefore, if you're in a business meeting, you're trying to get someone to see your view, your point of view whatsoever. Now, wearing the ring, you may find that, you know, that person basically bends to what you want them to do. Now, with women, you tend to see that women begin to become the dominating factor and they begin to have the control and power over men, right? So as far as Medusa is concerned, yes, that is a very powerful spirit. And I definitely say you need to follow the rules and regulations when working with that spirit. I remember, you know what? I remember this person was working with Medusa, and I guess that person didn't do things right. The next day, his girlfriend fell off a building and she died. But that's a whole nother story. You know what I'm saying? But you got to know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. I would say this. Tell us about the dangers, pros and cons of joining secret societies, Masons, Bizango, Makaya, whatsoever. I mean, listen, first and foremost, with those terminology, Makaya, Slumpwell, this and that, everybody got their own crew, right? Everybody can call it whatever they want to call it. You know what I'm saying? In reality, there's some things that are just like, it's really like this. Everybody got their own group, their own cliques, right? Everybody got their own shit. Listen, you can call it what you want to call it. Some people may have secrets that other people don't have. And that's what you find when you're talking about Bizongo, Makaya, etc., all these cliques and groups and stuff like that. Now, the thing about it is this, is that when you join crews, you know, when you join a crew, it's like joining a gang. You know what I'm saying? Unless you got rank and unless you got power, you know what I'm saying? You do something wrong when you're part of these groups, you're going to get disciplined. You know what I'm saying? Now, they can X you out the community whatsoever. I mean, listen, again, when you're dealing with a lot of this stuff, you know, you start naming these secret societies. These are people that are off the record, you know what I'm saying? And you're dealing with a lot of underground things. And you fuck around, you're going to find out. You know what I'm saying? See, the thing about it is this, you're in America. And the thing about it in America, a lot of people tied to this stuff, they're not American. And I would just basically say this. When you part of a community like that, you got to follow protocol. You know what I'm saying? And it's like this, man. You just got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you know what I'm saying, then you're going to be X'd out. You know what I'm saying? And X'd out can have consequences that I don't think you would want to deal with. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, I say this, man. The best thing you can do is be by yourself and create your own shit. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Create your own shit. Trying to join and get involved. Most of the time, you're going to be called. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be the one that's going to say, oh, I'm going to be part of this. And if you join as part of that, that's not what it is. That ain't no Sampuel. That ain't no Bizango. That's not no Zobop or anything like that. You chose to be part of this. You know what I'm saying? You don't choose to be part of none of that. You get chosen. That's it. You know what I'm saying? If you doing numbers, you know what I'm saying? That's it. You get chosen. You don't get, you know, oh, I'm going to join this like a regular society. It don't work like that, because when you get involved in type of stuff like that, it's a lot of stuff that's off the record. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff that's off the record. You know what I'm saying? It's not for the average person. Mm-hmm. Would you recommend a client to Palo Mayombe? Hold on. Would you recommend a client to Palo Mayombe, vice versa with Voodoo Creole? And what would be the reason why? Hold on. Good question. This is a good question. Hold on. Let me get to this. Ugh. Okay, let me read this question real quick. Would you recommend a client to Palo Mayombe or vice versa with Voodoo Creole, right? And what would be the reason? Now, I try not to bring people in. But if you're trying to become part of a religion and you seem like a serious person, to me, I would recommend them to someone else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like, unless the person's family. And another thing is like this, I take consideration culture. You know what I'm saying? I take consideration culture heavy, because culture, if you're from my culture, you understand certain things. There's norms in the culture that a person will understand. You know what I'm saying? If you're, you just from America, you don't none of this stuff, man, it's gonna be hard for you to relate. And there's certain things that are just not, let's just say, there's certain things in voodoo that would not be considered good in American culture. So I like, unless a person's from the culture, I try not to recommend it to him. But for me, I usually refer people to go check this person out. You know what I'm saying? Now, if somebody comes to me, they say they're interested in Palo, I'm going to be like this. I'm not a palero. You say, but I can recommend you to someone who I believe is, a good representation of the tradition of Palo Mayombe. You know, saying, for me, hands down, I think Palo Mayombe is a very good tradition, very heavy duty, But again, it's always about seriousness. If the person is serious, I got to look at that stuff too, But even outside of that, when it comes to the voodoo thing whatsoever, I'm very skeptical about that, because I tend to watch my reputation, because sometimes you can refer people think that they're good, and next thing you know, they come around and start doing fuckery. Money changes people. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, fortunately, I haven't seen that much with the Palo community whatsoever, But yes, that's what I do. If it came down to someone coming to me about, I want to get into Palo, I'm going to tell them I'm not a palero. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a palero. But I can recommend you to someone whatsoever. But as far as voodoo is concerned, I try not to get people involved in that. I prefer to stay in the dynamics of work, because when you get involved with initiation and stuff like that, and now Haiti's not in the best place, I tend to stay away from that, The initiation game, I tend to stay away from it. Or let me not call it a game. Correction. Mm-hmm. But Kafou. Oh my God, here we go, man. Kafou. Listen, man, we not talking about that, man. You listen, I get where you're going with that. Kafou. That no, bro, it's no relation. I get where you're going. I know you've done your Egyptian studies and you saw the word Kafu. No, sir. You know what I'm saying? Does not relate. You know what I'm saying? They do not relate at all, one bit. Like, there you go. You're blending Egyptian stuff with voodoo. It doesn't work like that. I understand where you went try to get the correspondences and stuff like that. No, sir. Just because the name sounds similar, they are not the same spirit. Can leg by and call? No, they can't be on. No, I would not recommend that. I definitely would not recommend that. But that's too much for social media. But I would not recommend that. One second. Okay, boom. Somebody just asked me a business question. Okay, I answered that already. Here we go, man. No shit. Zantra, you are tripping, man.
An ancient natural nuclear reactor assumed to have
What the hell is this, man? Is it okay to honor Ogu, build relationships with him, and work with him as a non-initiate? I had 2 readings done by a Haitian mambo and priestess. They said that he walks with me, and I truly believe it. Well, listen, if that's the case, then you got to do what you got to do. But don't ask me how, because I'm not going to tell you. Well, the benefits of working pacts with Marinette is that she protects you from magic, black magic. I definitely say that. And she can definitely bring lovers back. Wandering lovers that drift off, she can definitely bring them back. And with the way she brings them back can be a little bit rough. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to hold that back from you and let you know. I'm going to be honest with you. So I think I've answered everyone's questions. Wow. Okay. Okay, I've answered everyone's questions so far for tonight. So I thank you guys for participating in this live. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to conclude for tonight. Deuces.